Hi, this is Tiger Moon Tarot, your spiritual bestie, back with another reading. Wanting to just be open to receive. Go ahead and have a seat. Hey, hi, welcome. So I've manifested that this reading finds exactly who it needs to find. Um, Hold on. It might just be a little loud, but that feels more secure to me, and I can also see the light. See if it goes off. Um, I manifested that this video will find who it needs to find, and basically, like, what's gonna come through today is just like what you, the viewer, needs to hear for your highest good and in the highest good of all, for the highest vibration of love. Um, so what I'm hearing in the beginning, I have really like no agenda or like no plan for this reading. I'm just gonna kind of let it like flow however it wants to flow, let it flow out, let it do its own thing. But I'm feeling called to start with saying like get grounded in love. Like a tool that you have and a tool that you can use to alchemize any feeling or emotion or situation is love and compassion and forgiveness. That doesn't mean that you like let up on your boundaries. Not at all. Those are mutually exclusive ideas. You know what I mean? But it's about you always moving with like love and kindness and compassion. Okay. So the first couple of cards that came out, and we have the devil peeking here at the bottom. Also, I feel called to say I'm using my Voyager tarot deck. It's by James Wainless. It's a really cool deck. So I feel like for you to move about your material world, there was an aspect of you kind of like needing. You learned at a very young age, like how to get your reality to respond to you the way that you wanted to, and not in a manipulative way. It's just like in out of a way of like survival. We have the King of Wands, and then we have the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, the King of Wands and the Page of Pentacles. Right. And in these cards, it says the actor and the learner. I don't know if you can see it. I know it'll be backwards, but this says the actor, and this says the learner. And another thing that I'm thinking about or picking up is like I don't know, but for some reason I'm thinking about Shakespeare and like how that was very like dramatic and like how there was a bunch of drama, and there's just something about you. There's something about a way in which that you've learned to act or maneuver or like move about your reality in some kind of way to make you feel like you have like government or like ownership or autonomy, like specifically like control, to make you feel like you have control over a situation or make you feel like you can like um almost like barrel through, like you can just like go through it, you have this capacity to just like kind of keep going. I'm getting cardinal energy, like fire, like forward movement. This is like Aries energy to me, cardinal energy, you know, just like kind of moving forward, just wanting to move forward, but it just seems like there's something about that cycle, like something about you continuing to be in that cycle with yourself, or like enact that cycle, which just isn't working for you anymore. And like that cycle is like being asked to close, because the way in which you're moving, or the way in which you were acting or responding, has to do, it's a trauma response. The devil was coming out at the bottom, and they have the strength card. Okay. Okay, and then the next thing that I'm hearing is like there's a need for you to be gentle with yourself. There's a need for you to be very careful with yourself as you kind of like navigate what this is. I'm kind of seeing it as like a mask or a facade about your valor or your capacity, like to just keep swimming, like just keep swimming, just keep swimming, like you just keep like moving through things, you just keep barreling through things, like one thing after another. Like you're a quick learner, and I mean you're quick to act, you learned how to like act, okay, you know, you learned how to act, you learn how to act like you can handle anything. You learn how to act to put on this like big facade. Like what's the thing about an Aries? Like an Aries is literally the baby of the zodiac, but it acts like it's like, you know, like to everybody else it's like big and mean and aggressive, but in all actuality, like it's just a baby. Like it's literally just a baby, like responding and reacting to its situations and like the situations around it. And you have built an identity around that. You've built an identity around, there's aspects of yourself that were created specifically for the act of survival, you know, for you to like get yourself to where you are now. And what I was hearing earlier was that you've gotten yourself to a place of like stability, and not just in like a material sense, but it's more like your root chakra, like you knowing that you are safe, and like having like just feeling safety within yourself, feeling safety within like the hands of the universe, feeling safety within the hands of your guides and like your ancestors and your spirit team and your angels, feeling safety within like you know, just like trusting the universe, and like trusting that you'll always be provided for, trusting that you're like always on the right path, trusting that you'll always be taken care of, trusting, you know, that there's always going to be more money, your money is always going to be returning, you know, trusting there's always money for you to pay your bills. um you know, trusting that everything is that is meant for you will always find you, trusting in um that you always have everything that you need right now, you know, trusting that there is never any lack, trusting in your capacity to like, you know, that everything happens for its reason, and everything is happening like within your highest good, and just remembering, and like I don't know, that's just like really solidified in you, like that. It's like I'm seeing like the root chakra that is very much so like solidified in you. But now that there's some like something has solidified, you kind of have more space to take on some more of that stuff that you've been feeling. And this is like really a part of like the time that's going on now. Right now we're like, it's, I think it's April 7th, 2025. There's a lot of stuff going on, and like astrologically, like oh my god, like I can't even like comprehend. I was looking through my We Aligned um calendar. Mark my words, everybody. See, today was an interesting day, Monday the 7th, April 7th. That was like an intense day, right? We're going through like intense aspects, intense transits, intense like a lot of stuff. Thursday, the 10th, that will also be a difficult day. And then, do you want to know what? Do you want to know what the T is? Do you want to know what the motherfucking T is? Is that on Monday, the 14th, there's no aspects. Nothing is moving. Nothing is transiting in the sky. Everything is just like where it is. Everything's just sitting. It's like I mean, like a duck in the water, like literally like a duck in a pond. Like you're just like a duck out of water. Like you're just I don't even know, fish out of water or something. Like you're just sitting there. Like you're just prey waiting. And then on Tuesday, like it's just like that's it. I don't know. On Tuesday, this is the day. Tuesday, April 15th. Come back to this video and tell me what happened that day. I want to know. Like, I want to know what happened to you on Tuesday, May 15th. I want to know what happens in the world on Tuesday, May 15th. Because that's after the new moon, too. I mean, it's after the Libra full moon, which she's coming for everybody's throat. She's coming for justice. But anyways, now that you have kind of given yourself this foundation, and 1114, as I say that, right, like you know that you are secure, you are safe within yourself, you have like this inner like sense of safety and security. There's an aspect of you that you have basically been like pushing away or denying for years. You've been pushing it away and you've been denying it for years, and you just haven't want to look at it. You haven't want to address them. You haven't wanted to see them. You know, you haven't wanted to look them in the mirror. But now that you're at this place of like security and like inner security with yourself, and you're like embodying the new version of yourself, and you're like walking in and walking as the new version of yourself in the here and the now. I've been kind of like describing it as like a grieving process of the old self. Like you're going through a death, you're going through like a grieving process, and that's literally might be like how it's showing up right now. Like maybe you're grieving the past, maybe you're grieving someone from your past, maybe you're grieving someone that has passed. Maybe you're grieving a version of yourself from the past, you know, an old relationship, an old job, an old coworker, you know, but it's about like there is something that is the underlying cause of the stagnation or the reason, like there's an underlying reason as to why your reality like looks the way that it does in the terms of like suffering, and the way that like you choose to enact as a part of your suffering. And it has to do with this identity that you have formed to protect yourself, you know, out of like survival mode. But now that is asking, like that's what's being grieved, you know, like that's what's being brought up, that's what's being like, you know, dug up out of the ground. Or just like it's almost like you're going, the way that I'm seeing is like you're going through like spring cleaning, and you're like cleaning your entire house, but your house is like your mind and your like mind skate, and you're getting to the point where like your entire house is clean. Or maybe you're moving. Yeah, maybe that's an aspect. Maybe some of you are like literally moving, and maybe this is something that you're going through right now, you know. And it's like you find a trunk of like old photos from the past, and it just like it brings up all of the things that you have been like not wanting to feel, and almost things that you forgot that you even needed to feel, because to the ego self that wasn't even like a real thing, like that didn't even existed, because that part of your identity was created out of survival mode, it was created out of protection, you know. You didn't have the strength, you didn't have the capacity to deal with those things then, you know, so you kind of had to suppress it, you kind of had to like put yourself on hold, is what I'm hearing. You had to like put yourself on hold for other people or for the plot, you know, however you want to take it or whatever that means for you. You kind of had to like you've been holding this in, you've been holding whatever those feelings are, you've been holding whatever that thing is in your body ever since it happened. And whatever it is that you're thinking about right now, you know, trust in that, trust and know that like it's meant to come up, you know, and it's really, it's wanting to be felt, and like that part of you is wanting to be integrated, it's wanting to be seen, it's wanting to be recognized. I feel like as a society we tend to see the shadow as like this negative thing, and like, I'm getting emotional, I'm on my period, but like, we tend to see the shadow as like this thing that we're constantly in battle with or fighting, or you know, that like it needs to be tamed or like put on a leash, or for some people, you know, not seen, not felt, like locked up in a closet, never to be seen, like not at all worthy or like accepted. And what if I were to tell you your shadow is actually just you? Your shadow is just your 3-year self you, 4-year old you, 7-year old you, 14-year old you, 12-year old you. That's all your shadow really is. That's it, you know? And like every time you had to put it on pause, like you had to kind of, I'm hearing like shut them away. You kind of had to just like shut it away, shut them away, shut the experience away, you know, shut that part of yourself away to keep it safe, you know, to keep yourself safe. You had to keep moving, you had to keep going, you know, you had to keep going, you had to keep surviving, you genuinely had to keep, you had to keep surviving, you had to get here, you had to get now, but you are here now, you know. and and now that you're here, that like little you is really needing your support. They're really needing you to acknowledge them. They're really needing you to like extend a safe place for them to be seen, for them to be felt, for them to be heard, for them to be honored, you know, whatever the feeling was. And like, I couldn't imagine what you're feeling right now, you know. I mean, I can, but whatever that, if there's a lump in my throat, you know, you just have to give it, because it's just a little you. It's just a little you. It's just a little you that you put on pause so that you can survive. The little you that you like stuffed away in yourself so that you could get to the here and the now, so you could get to this place where you're surviving. And that's all the shadow is. The shadow is just your inner child. The shadow, the ego, you know, the self, the unaware self, that is your inner child. And they just want a hug. They just want you to give them the space to like not be okay for a minute. Like honestly, they just want to feel. They just want you to know. They want to feel like you support them. They want you to feel like you've got you know, and you do. You really do. It's all just about you like allowing that space for that little you to, I don't know, like feel safe. Let them, it's just below the surface, you know. There's so much of just like this, I'm okay, like I'm fine, I'll get it done, I'll figure it out. You know, there's always something to look forward to, there's always something to look better to, there's always something to look ahead at, you know, there's always love and light in like everything. And it's not to like, you know, negate that or like forget that, but it's just that sometimes like it's almost like just like having bad, quote unquote bad, or just like heavier emotions is like frowned upon or something like that. Like it's like sometimes I'm not okay. You know, sometimes I'm not okay. And it's okay to not be okay. But it's like you've been telling yourself that you've needed to be okay for so long to get yourself to a place where that, like, because you needed to get yourself somewhere, you know, like you needed to just like block out parts of you so that you could get to some place. And basically, like, there's just an inner you know, there's an inner child just wanting to be acknowledged that they're not okay. And that it's been hard, you know, and that they've been having a hard time. And whatever it is that happened, it didn't really affect them. They can't pretend to be okay anymore. And you've gotta honor them. You've gotta really honor them. You know, they can't survive buried underneath all the rubble anymore. No one can, you know. And it's really about meeting them with like kindness and compassion. But they need to be seen and they need to be felt and they need to be here and like in the now because they're wanting to be integrated, because basically the entire life that you're living right now and that you're experiencing right now has been built off of the fact that you have been like suppressing whatever that thing is, you know, whatever that feeling is, whatever that emotion is, and you've built an entire reality and identity on a almost like faulty foundation, you know what I mean? And now it's time to like go back and like genuinely like fill in that crack before you can keep building on your foundation, because if you keep building right now, like the integrity of the structure wouldn't last in the long term. So it's about you really like going back to fill in that crack, you know, and like filling in that crack is gonna take a lot of like time and compassion and like a lot of space and a lot of grace. I'm also hearing to remember, like, you remember that you have support. 2222, as I said that literally, like, remember that you are supported, and remember you are 100, like, you need support and your support system is important, like it genuinely is important, and utilize that support system. There's a reason they like their support system, you know. ah um yeah, there's a reason you have a support system. There's a reason these people are, you know, the people around you, and they're here to help you. They like genuinely are here to help you, and like I'm hearing you don't have to be okay for them anymore. You know, you don't have to like be okay or pretend like everything is okay for them anymore. You can like allow yourself to like not be okay for a minute and tell your support system, and they will support you through this time, you know, but you have to honor that in yourself. Nobody else is just going to honor it for you, like off the bat. The thing is, everyone tries to, you know, everyone does, everyone sees it, everyone is amazed at like how you've gotten to where you've gotten. But the thing is, you got to use your support system. You got to be able to ask for help, whether it's like here in the 3D or it's in the astral realms. I would honestly use both, you know. But you have to like allow yourself to get through the other side of like whatever that these emotions are, because it's like the main reason you've been like consistently experiencing a similar reality. I feel like in the last like week or so, there's some kind of like cycle or habit, some kind of like cycle or habit or like emotional pattern that you keep falling back to, specifically when you're going through like times of stress, or anxiety or like any of that kind of stuff, and you've fallen back on it a lot of times, and like it's almost like you felt like you made a lot of progress and you like gotten really far, but then for you to like fall back in that pattern. But there's also like a sense in you knowing that it was the last time that you're ever gonna like be in that place, in that specific pattern. And like that's because that pattern was out of like you blocking whatever that like big emotional thing was. So now that you're here and like there is no other way to block it, um, you'll never be that version of yourself again because you're not blocking whatever that is again, you know. And like, I don't know, you're never like gonna go back to that cycle ever again. You're gonna be in the here and the now, and like this cycle, like this in itself is an activation, you know. This is an activation for your soul, for you to start, you know, the shedding, the grieving process of an old self, or you know, the reopening of an old wound, you know, that never really got like properly healed. That's how I'm seeing it. It's like a wound that never really got properly healed. You've just kind of been like walking on a broken leg, and something like that. Like it's like it just, the wound never really healed. But when you go into the dark, and you allow yourself to go into the dark, and you like allow yourself to go into that shadow, that's where you like find the magic. Your entire life is going to change after you go through whatever this process is, but it's about you being in the energy of like allowance. Okay, I know whatever that is like really scary to you, whether it's just like you being on the other side, or it's like, it's almost like if you go through whatever this is, you don't know who you're going to be on the other side, and there's like almost a fear, you know, a fear of like wanting to go down that, because some people are scared that they're going to like spiral too far down. Confirmation burp, and I hear you. I really do. But do you remember what I was saying about your support system? That's why you have a support system, and that's why you need to like really keep in touch with them and like stay up with that, and then also like stay up with self care and like grounding practices. Um, you know, pay really really close attention to your body, like really 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 close attention to your body, and like what it's telling you, and if it's telling you to rest, if it's telling you to sit down, and like what are some tools that you have in your toolbox. You know, do you like to journal? Do you like to meditate? Do you like to draw? Do you like to do yoga? Do you like to go on a walk? You know, do you like to phone a friend? Do you like to, you know, hang out with your cat? Do you like to do your dishes? Do you like to fold your laundry? Like whatever it is that you do to get back into your body and like regulate your nervous system. Pay very close attention to like what those things are for you, and then also like what is self-care. You know, what does self-care look like for you? How are you taking care of yourself right now? If you know you're going through like a lot of emotions, how would you take care of little you? Well, how would you take care of little you if they were having a hard time right now, and that's how you should take care of yourself? Anyways, when you have that, and you like have that foundation in yourself, you can like, it just allows you to like allow yourself to go through this process. It was like before I said that we were being born, and it was our first time being born. So we're being born, but it was like we are choosing. It was like the moment we decided to like come down to earth, we're like, okay, now we're being born. Now we're like right in the center of the birth canal. We're right in the center of the womb. So like before we were like going through this like whole process of like being formed and being created, and like going through like this transformation alchemy or whatever. And then when we got that push, or we felt like, literally felt like we were getting that push, it was because it was the first time we were like awake, and it was the first time we ever decided like, okay, we're gonna like start being alive. But now it's a process. Birth is a process. Now we're right in the middle of that birth canal, and like someone described it as like one foot in the new version of you, and one foot in like the old timeline. Like you're in the new timeline and this old timeline. Um, but you need to fully alchemize like through the old timeline into the new timeline. Like allow yourself to go through like the birth canal, and it's about you like trusting yourself as you like go through the portal, as you go through it. Like trust that you're not going to spiral down. Trust that like as you follow this string of emotions, like it's going to lead you to exactly where you need to, which is like the other side, and that you have help and you have support. You know, you're not going to get lost. You know, you are anchored. You know how to be anchored. You know how to do that. You already know how to do that. You know what I'm saying? um because you've practiced, like you've literally practiced how to do this, so there's no need to have fear. Basically, you know, just trust yourself, trust the universe, trust that this is like what the path is calling you to do. And if you feel like a hesitation, that's fair. Just like accept the feeling, accept all of the feelings. And I think that's like the whole point um of like going through this birth canal. Just accept all the feelings, whatever it is, like whatever it is that's coming up, like instead of just like stopping them and blocking them, just accept all the feelings, like be like, okay, yeah, I do feel like that, like what about it now? Okay, is there anything else before we finish up? Right, no, literally no, because everything that you've gone through, everything that you've gone through, and like all of the sadness and all of it's like pressure. Like you were like a pressure and diamond. You're learning how to alchemize it. You literally are alchemizing it and like going through this process of alchemization and like basically what you've gone through. And people say this all the time, I know, but like basically what you've gone through, like genuinely is not in vain, and all of it was meant for you to like have all of this energy behind you, have all of this energy that you can alchemize, that you can transform, because it's all energy at the end of the day. And the more that you allow yourself to feel it, the more you allow yourself to go through these processes, the more you allow yourself to like feel these emotions and like use these emotions and transform the emotions, the more you'll be able to like create your dream reality, the more you'll just be able to like, it's just like it's not in vain. Like just know that what you're going through and everything you have been through like really is not in vain, and you are the one who's going to create the reality that you want to see in your life. It's going to be you. Like you're not going to be in your way. You aren't in your way, you aren't in your way anymore. It's as simple as that. Just keep going, go through this process, and you'll see. Like I don't even know how to explain it. So we have the magician, the fool, and the 5 of cups in the reverse. So the magician, talks about like creating, like having the power to create, and the fool is all about this new beginning and like taking a chance. And then the 5 of cups in the reverse is about seeing. It's like you'll see why you had to go through all of that. You'll see why you went through all of those, and like why you had to go through this and that and this and that, and why I had to get you right here, and how why now, like why here now is exactly where you need to be, and is beautiful and it's perfect, and you are beautiful and you are perfect and you are completely worthy. It's all about seeing that. It's all about recognizing that. It's all about feeling your feelings. It's all about, accepting all of your emotions. It's all about knowing that you are love, knowing that you are light, knowing that you are the truth, knowing that you are here to create love, and you are here to, just make love, make art, and forgive. Forgive. Be the divine, be the light. Be the light in the here and the now. That's all you have to do. All you have to do is love yourself now. All you have to do is be here now and love yourself now and choose to love yourself now. That's it. That's how you create your whole reality, is to choose to show up now and love yourself now. Show up for that. Show up for that little you that we were talking about earlier. Show up for them right now. Show up for them. That's how you get to where you need to be. Okay, I love you. I love you. If you'd like to book a reading with me, my email, it'll be down below in the description. Trust the process. 3333, as I'm saying that, like trust the process, trust in the way, like spirit will show you the way. You have all the tools. All of this stuff has prepared you to like have all the tools now, and you'll see that as soon as you decide that you deserve love right now, as soon as you love yourself right now. Okay, that's it. Anyways, email me, it'll be below. Okay, bye.